Hello, everyone, and welcome to Winter Dab Final Fantasy I Randomizer Tournament 2021. I am Ilmar's Ubermuller, joined here in the booth with Karant for this match between Darkmoon and Sawneyrath. Karant, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing quite well. It has been quite the day today. I started it with Final Fantasy. I'm ending it with Final Fantasy. It is a fantastic night, and I hope everybody has a grand time with this lovely Winter Dab match this evening.
That's right. We've got two pretty good players going up against each other here tonight, Darkmoon and Sawneyrath. If you're unfamiliar with DAB or Double Anti-Bingo, if you look on the right side of your screen, you're going to see this cool little bingo board. Darkmoon is in the blue, Sawneyrath in the pink. What this means is that if you look at column 4, you'll notice both of them have been forced to complete that row. Double anti-bingo, you have to complete 2 rows. One that is given to you by your opponent. They both opted to give each other the same line, which is column 4, and then you just have to complete any other line on the board. Once you've completed both your lines, off you can go. You can go straight to Chaos, as this has free orbs, and the first one after their 2 lines to defeat the final fiend gets to hit done first.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's been an interesting format so far. I've been able to see a couple of matches, and it's been a great deal of fun just to watch and see how all these runners will approach things. So it's definitely been something I've enjoyed. I hope everybody is looking forward to it tonight, and we shall get underway. I think pretty shortly. Yeah, looks like we're gonna drop the gates in a moment, and then we will be good to go with this vaunted dab match to close out tonight.
On top of that, you're going to notice that these two absolute rapscallions decided to do a party draft as well, which came out to be Fighter, and then Red-Black was retaliated with, ending with Black Belt. So, to be fair, it's a pretty standard comp overall, though. What do you think of the comp, Karant, as we get underway here?
Well, it really just depends on how the magic rolls, and we'll get to see level 1. And let's see, White Magic, Cure 4 and Invis 2 at level 1 is definitely good to see. And Bracken, Temper, and Black Magic at level 1 is also really good to see. So that is a pretty nice magic roll for both sides, just because, especially because you've got one of the Bracks in that set. And with it being level 1, that makes that 5th row, which the runners were talking about as being potentially a bit of a nightmare, makes it a whole heck of a lot easier.
The other thing I want to point out is, I'm just going to guess this, but our fighter has been raising his hand saying, I can learn both white and black magic. So I'm going to guess he got red mage spells as well for one of his bonuses. So that's a huge plus.
Yeah, that absolutely. That's what that looks like. I didn't have the chance to really look at the blushes before we got started. But yeah, if that fighter is going, hey, congratulations, I can hold everything except a sword, then that will certainly help move things along a little bit. As Sawneyrath tries to fight some monsters, unfortunately had to reset, so hopefully he'll be able to make it up to Topher. It looks like he's having a better time of it this time.
Yeah, it seems like it was a really quick encounter first time, and then it looked like a pretty solid run on the second encounter here. This is massive, so I can see some save scumming coming up as well to get that big second run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially it's great to find that sort of an encounter, an encounter run pretty early in a hard reset. So you can save, hard reset, kind of dash through that first encounter, and then be able to grab the other one. So definitely good news on that front.
Sonny finds a rune sword +2 instantly equipped and says, I have no desire to do either column 1 or row 1 with the equip no swords.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's understandable too, as Darkmoon is picking up the Adamant from the King and the Oxyel from Sarah. But you can understand that simply because the Mazamune is one of the swords is one of the items in the incentive pool. So you can easily pick up a Mazamune, and if you pick up say a Maza +4 or 5, which is possible because the blesses go up to +5, if you pick up that really good masa, it's going to be awfully hard to put down if you're a fighter.
Yeah, and we've also seen seeds, if you've been watching this, where one of the tiles that you have to fulfill is throw masa out the window. And that must feel really bad. I know there was one seed where it was a masa +5, and they both had to forcibly throw it out the space window, which I'm sure made them cry just a little bit.
Yeah, I think actually Hangry Canuck was mentioning that with having to toss the sword. That has to be a very painful thing.
Yeah, and we've got divergent paths here. Darkmoon makes what I would say is the more standard play of running over to Provoka, while with that adamant right off the start, we see Sonny goes west and is going to check out dwarves here. Nothing too special in magic, but on Sonny's side, we see the trumpet from our multi-instrumentalist Sarah, so that's the loot, in case anyone was wondering.
Right, that's a good thing to pick up early on. It's not. I mean, you do need to have it still for Topher, because we do have the orbs all lit up already, so they actually don't have to kill the fiends if they don't want to, but they do still need the key and the loot to be able to get into Topher to be able to do their work. So that's a good find. It also helps out with the incentives as well in terms of XP, because that of course makes that boost a little bit better. Since the XP scaling is 10% per key item, that's obviously another 10% that Sonny will be able to get early on. And well, is this even randomized?
Yeah, or just ship right from their keys, as you can take the pirate ship. Another thing to note as well is, as you were saying, we've got free orbs, which means, technically speaking, there are only 2 items you need to beat the game, which are the loot and the key. In this case, they also will 100% need Oxyale, because they have to, with their Force Bro, Bracken the Kraken. They already have 2 of their 3 absolute required items for Go Mode. This could be very quick if they can find some levels or a grind tile or something, and if that key comes up somewhere soon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It could indeed. And there's a fair number of spots that are incentivized in this grouping, as per usual. You have Ice Ordeals and Titans are incentivized. You also have Earth, Volcano, and Sky, and Canaria Lock. So if you do get that key, you've got a potential location for maybe other items that you need. But like you said, they've got 2 out of 3 already. The key is the 3rd. And conceivably, they may not actually need any others.
Yeah, just kind of looking over some of the other tiles here. I mean, row 4 doesn't require any other thing. Well, I guess the canoe or floater to be able to get to carry. But you're hoping for floater anyway, because who the heck wants to walk around?
Right.
Technically, row 3 requires absolutely nothing outside of a grind tile just to get to level 40, which, if you're going to be running a black belt, you're probably going to do a grind to 42 anyway then. So there's a lot of potential that we may see as soon as we get that item, that someone or both of them make the decision to say, I've got enough, it's go time.
Right, yeah. And that's one of the interesting things really about this DAB tournament is, and I found this to be fascinating considering how it's set up, is how do these runners strategize their line choices? How do they, outside of the ones that they're forced to do, of course, but how do they strategize the ones that they can choose? How do they route accordingly? How do they figure out key item choices and incentive choices accordingly? It's made for some interesting tournaments, interesting races, interesting strategies, and it's fascinating to watch. I do not know how well I could have done if I had been a part of this, because yeah, I think my brain would probably be going somewhere in the direction of Saturn at the moment, trying to consider some of the strategies to use with some of these cards.
Absolutely. During this, we finally see our first good sweeper, which is Ice 3 at level 3 black, and Darkmoon finds out that ogres have damage poison and beat him to oblivion. So that's always fun.
Yeah, that's no good. And the ogres is one of the tiles that we have. Kill 3 different ogres, so Yeah, you don't want to see the ogres that can kill you right back. That's not fun.
No. If anyone's familiar with the vanilla game, you've probably killed a few ogres in this area here around Elfland, and they are not having it in revenge, going for their revenge tonight.
Yeah, they have finally realized the spirit of the randomizer and decided it's time to take the power back. Perhaps literally.
Yes, these light warriors have done this one too many times in this time loop, so it's their turn.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Darkmoon is still buying some magic in Elfland, and Sawneyrath is going to head through that free canal, make his way over. I would suspect at this point toward Crescent Lake. He's turning south as though he is intending to do that. Yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing.
At this point, there's only two possible things you can do without the canoe, right? You can go to Crescent to get the free item from them, or you'd have to make the long sail to Onrak and hope that the shop item is in there.
Yeah. It is worth mentioning, you mentioned going to Onrak. The northern docks are turned on. All of the extra progressions, the open progression, extended open progression, and northern docks, as well as the Ryukon dock, are all turned on. So you can dock at a lot more places. You can travel to a lot more places than you would normally be able to in the conventional game. And it definitely makes for some options as far as key items that you get.
And Darkmoon is reminding me with his play that there is one more option, and that is Earth Incentivized, which is sitting behind the Vampire. But he's going to check trap tiles here first, and the first one's Karibs. Definitely don't care about that.
Oh, but you do care about the metal slimes.
Yeah, that's one. If you had a fire spell, you could take care of that early and get some good levels with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, and it's also worth mentioning that one of the tiles is Walk the Hall of Giants. So, if you do get a fire spell that you can use to roast those things into a crisp, then that could make a lucrative way to do a couple of things at once.
And here Sawny has gone talked to the old men sitting in Crescent Lake and finds out they have the herbs. So time to go back and I assume take hopefully the southern route around Elfland and take that southern dock and head back and see what the prince gives us.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, let's hope he doesn't pull what I saw in the race this morning, which was, I forget which of the two runners it was, but runner did that and then found that the prince gave them the crystal, which feels bad.
Yeah, that's always real bad. Fun. Yeah, not just go back into the inner city, that thing you strategically did to not have to do this, now you're doing it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So, while Sawney is sailing back over to Crescent, Darkmoon is pushing. I believe he is on Earth 3 now at this point, which is the vampire floor. So he's going to try to get in there. And yeah, it is Earth 3. He's going to try and get in there and see if he can't find out what that incentive item is. It didn't look like they were outside of those metal slimes. The trap tiles are horrible in here. They're not good. One of them being Red End Kylos, which is just awful.
Ugh, yeah. That net no bueno. All right.
We've got a vampire, and for once, this might actually stay alive for a bit, because we really don't have anything big, and while Darkmoon's contemplating choices, Sawney gets the cube, which doesn't give progression, so... and Darkmoon gets punched by the vampire. Has to reset.
Oh, that's no fun.
So, it's either behind the vampire, or we're sailing to Onrak to check out what the shop is there.
Yeah. That's about all the choices we got right now.
It is a shop item. What shop item are you hoping for?
Well, I mean, I know the one that the runners would really want to see right now would be the floater, because you don't have to have the canoe to get to it. And obviously that opens up the world like a ripe oyster or watermelon at this point. As far as what I want to see, I don't know. It's I am debating between, do I want to see chaos so the runners can be tortured a little bit, or do I want to see a quick seed because A, it's late, B, I've been doing a little work today, so
It's late and I want to go to bed. Just say it. We all know it.
yeah, well. I'll try to keep it up the best I can, but yeah, it is a little late.
It's only 11:30 here in Eastern Standard Time, so wherever you are, welcome. Hopefully you're joining us and enjoying this. I am Elmar Zubmuller, again joined with Kurant here. This is attempt 2 by Darkmoon to see if we can kill us a vampire, and that's not damage. That's 2 hits, 2 damage. That's no good.
And chat saying a ruby vendor-locked floater. Ooh,
I like that. That was my thought, was Ruby. That would be fantastic.
yeah. That would be interesting, certainly. You'd have to leg it a bit, of course, but that'll work. And Darkmoon having some trouble trying to take down that vampire, and Sawneyrath is now right on his heels to try to go after said vampire, but he is also going to check his trap tiles, and is... Oh, okay, no, he is running from the Caribs. Looked like he was going to take those Caribs on for a second.
Yeah, no thanks. I got no desire to do that. No one wants to deal with Kareem.
He is, however, going to go after those metal slimes. So, of course, the big worry with trying to fight those early is hoping you can get spells off in time to be able to take them down, and hoping also that they rolled fairly light as far as HP, because, yeah, they hit like trucks, and if you're not able to take them down, it is no fun for you. But if you can... Oh boy, it's very, very nice.
Oh yeah, it's big leveled early if you can, and unfortunately Ice 3 not cutting it. Even a Fire 2 would probably end up doing better than Ice 3. You know, metal slimes really don't like fire with everything. So a mage stick a Fire 2, but you know, this is one of the very rare instances where Ice 3 isn't the spell you want, because 9 times out of 10, Ice 3 is the spell you want.
Yeah.
Darkmoon was able to light up. I missed it. I apologize. That he was able to light up, cure a status ailment in battle. So I'm going to assume he got a cure 4 off on someone and healed something.
Yeah, that's actually what I was just looking at myself to try to read that flag.
Yeah, I know for a fact that cure 4 does count as long as you get rid of something. If he was dark or poisoned or what have you, then it's all good. So here we go. Attempt the 3rd. We're going to temper up the black belt. Black mage goes down. Oh, 2 hits, 48. That's not horrible. We're out of everything, though, on the red mage. So he's just going to drop a heal 3 and hope black belt can punch his way to victory here.
Yeah, I'm sitting here...
That vampire's hitting hard. I don't know if this is...
So... Yeah, I was going to say, there's a little bit of a question now that I would kind of be thinking about myself if I were these runners trying to go after the vampire. I'm not sure, considering how the magic is listed here, and also kudos to our tracker / restreamer, Sunflash Rune, for, well, pulling double duty for us tonight. But the way that the spells are listed, I'm presuming that the Harm 4 that we saw at level 3 in Elfland is not Red Mage learnable, given I think it's in slot 2.
Yeah, if that's written the way that they came out, then yeah, slot 2 is unavailable, which that would be doing serious work, but unfortunately you can't. Although, one of the pubs did have White Mage. So it could be a situation where, do you pick up a White Mage from a pub and get that? Is it big enough at this point?
I don't know. I wonder.
Sunflash pointing out a great point as well, though. They drafted this, so I think that would go against the ethics of the draft.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, for a second, I was honestly thinking that maybe that's what Sawneyrath was doing, but he went back to Canaria to revive everybody.
So Darkmoon especially has his head against us a few times. He hasn't even gone to Crescent at this point, I don't believe.
Yeah.
To even get which we know is non-progression in the cube, but nonetheless, he has no clue about that. It's pretty ambitious of him to keep attempting to get to this vampire.
Right. So yeah, it's oh boy, yeah, it is rough going. I mean, they feel like that this is the only thing that they can do to go forward, and that's probably true, and it's certainly looking like it so far. So, I guess my question is, well, never mind. I guess we're getting our answer on Darkmoon screen. I was going to ask you what you would do in this situation, and that answer on my end would have been essentially what Darkmoon is doing, just going ahead and taking these Karibs, getting some experience, getting some levels, and more importantly, magic charges, and trying to kind of get through in terms of sheer persistence.
If it was a slightly faster boat around, I would be tempted to leave, but you do have the Hall of Giants here, and Karibs, while not the best, they seem to be going down fairly easily. This calls for a grind of some sort, and I think this is the right play. Now, it is a little annoying if you are going to be doing row 4 at all with the used no cabins and houses. Sawneyrath has already opted out of that. He's like, nope, I like houses. I like getting magic charges back quickly. But if you aren't going to go for that, this becomes a very tedious grind, having to burn magic charges, walk all the way back to Melmond, and repeat. So we'll see what it looks like Darkmoon's doing that. So I wonder if he's committed to that row 4 play.
I don't know. It would be curious just to see if he does. I think honestly, in terms of the row 4, I think the hardest one on that one would be possibly the gaining 40,000 in one shop, unless you say sell the Moss Immune or something like that.
I think one half decently. I would, if you're doing that, I'd check out the Cardia chests. You're going to have also, at some point, you're going to have to get key anyway to complete the game. So between Dwarf Armory, Corneria Locked, and the Cardia chest, where we get TNT, Sonny actually able to kill the vampire, so we'll find out if that's what we actually need to progress. But if you check out the Cardia chests, Dwarf Armory, and Cardia Lock, you probably find enough gear to sell off to get your 40k.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's understandable. For some reason, when I saw that, I was fixed on the idea of, and I don't know why I was fixed on the idea, but getting that 40,000 by selling one item rather than just by all the sales you make in one shop. So silly me. Maybe the fact that it's late had me on that gravy train. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't even think you can though, right? Because max number for anything is 65,535. So even half of that you wouldn't even get to a full 40k. So it has to obviously be cumulative.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we'll get to see how Darkmoon. Yeah, we'll get to see how Darkmoon takes down this vampire and is, well, pretty much going to adopt the same strategy that he tried to do earlier: temper the black belt and watch the black belt go burr, and see how much burring it takes.
There we go, 83, and more importantly, the black mage had more than a big hit for 295, so that's huge. As I say, more importantly, HP values are just high enough to sustain a hit, which is what did this.
Yeah.
So, try again. Fourth time's a charm. Darkmoon gets that TNT while Sawneyrath just exiting out. So, I suspect he's going to be beelining it back to dwarves to figure out what they have for us.
Oh yeah, you imagine he would, and there's no reason not to.
I really, really hope, and I know it's always commentator curse. Those ogres have damage poison. Ogres show up here. Commentator curse.
I will not join you on that endeavor. Thank you very much.
Sonny just reset. Did he not? save that TNT? Because he's coming back in. Oh no.
I don't think he made it back to Melmond. I don't believe.
Oh my. He must not have anything to. Oh, that is so unfortunate that he
Yeah.
didn't have anything to save. Well, on the plus side, he's going to kill 2 ogres, but he doesn't care unless he's going to do column 3, but I doubt anyone's doing that, having to both defeat Lich and Bane Tiamat. But oh, there's that damage poison. Oh, poor Sonny, that is so unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah, that's one of those things that you really hate to see it when you run up against that. But there's not a whole lot you can do to avoid it, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% positive in saying Sonny made it to the vampire and killed him and got the TNT and made it outside, but was unable to get back to Melmond and didn't have anything to save, unfortunately. He was the one who first revealed that it was the TNT because Darkmoon never got it, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, not until a little bit later, certainly.
Yeah.
But
Sonny may have gotten it. Sonny may have gotten it first, but Darkmoon got it out. So
yeah, exactly.
now we shall see Darkmoon make his way over towards dwarfs and see what that TNT from there will give us. Parks the boat. Has to get stopped by wolves because why not? It's what they do.
Yeah, of course.
Well, Sonny makes his way all the way back to the vampire and probably feeling a little salty at this point because I know I would be.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. Well, there's your ruby.
All right, so back in the ship. This is just a super long fetch to get actual progression at this point because it's pretty much last location progression. It's really, really frustrating. But I mean, if you are looking at doing a grind, this is a lot of EXP boosts from all your key items, so that will help your grind and make that go a little faster at least.
Right. Yeah, it's just so in a randomizer like this, often that sort of thing is unavoidable. Having to run around and do all these fetch quest errands and just because apparently nobody else in this world is fit to actually take anything to anybody ever, and so of course the Warriors of Light have to do all of it. And sometimes they have to do all of it early, and sometimes they do all of it late.
Yeah. You think after all this time, someone would have been able to just beat Garland themselves, as opposed to 4 random people showing up, and doing it for them. Like, what if those 4 people never came? No one would have gone to save the princess? That's it? Just like, tough break, boys. You got her.
Yeah. Sorry, princess. You'll have to stay in this other castle forever.
Darkmoon has at first bypassed Titans, which is incentivized at this point in time, but he's going to go right into Sardas here and probably mark off his inspect the furniture tile, I suspect, which is just an annoying troll tile, but here we go.
Oh, presumably.
Yes, look at all those beautiful, beautiful vases and pots.
Nothing. If I didn't know any better, I'd think this was Blue Dragon.
Yeah. That's a really nice chair. Look at him sit in that chair. It's very beautiful. Oh, what a great chair. Oh, a table. Look at that. And a bed. Ooh.
And he tries to sleep in the bed.
All right. Now we can maybe... Oh, no, he's going to enjoy the bed and table a little more before he talks to Sarda. And it's... Well, isn't that annoying for progression?
Uh-huh. Sky.
Yep, Darkmoon doesn't know it yet, as he has not been to Crescent at this point in time, but he's going to find out when he goes there. Crescent has that cube, so it's really going to come down to what's here in Titans. If it's a non-issue, boy, that's going to be annoying. Ribbon -2 and a rod. Sky. boy. Now, you go to OnRack and check that item shop?
I mean, if you're gonna go sky, then it's on the way, sort of on the.
You just sail either east from Sky, you're sort of there. Do you feel good about going into Sky at level 12?
No. No, not a bit. Especially if you're gonna keep to the whole, oh, haha, no houses, na na boo boo tile.
Yeah, that would be incredibly annoying to have to walk out and then sail south to Provoca, that northern Provoca dock, and then walk all the way through Provoca just to be able to use an inn.
Yeah, that, I think at that point I'd either be looking for another bingo line to use, or I would be changing Winter Dab to Winter Crawl,
bleep, bleep, bleep,
pretty much.
Bleep.
Winter, exclamation point, asterisk, ampersand.
Exactly.
Left parentheses. Winter sad, there you go.
But we did find a ribbon, but it was minus, which really sucks because you can't use it.
Yep. Yep.
So they're going to look at that beautiful, beautiful ribbon and know they can never use that ribbon.
Yep. Well, they just gotta hope it sells well. You know, combine that and make it part of your 40,000 if you want to go after that line.
I mean, I can tell you one thing. Stoney definitely is not doing that because he can't do column 5 or row 4 since he's gotten rid of the houses and no one took 2 black mages. So that's out for Sony, but Darkmoon may be able to put that to good use.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So we shall see. Darkmoon is rounding way around, going up to Crescent here, while Sony has found the fantastic news already being to Crescent and knowing that he has Cube, he now has Chime, and is going, oh, please, come on, Titans pay off, and that's not the answer. This will be interesting to see what they do. This will be interesting to see what they do at this point in time, both Darkmoon and Sony, as apparently Sony did check Rod on the way, and I'm just blind. Yeah, look at that. I'm bypassing it, so I already got it. I'm just blind. So I suspect Connie will make way over the Sky. It will be interesting to see if either of them decide to check on rack to see if there is something in the vendor item there, because that's annoying. Darkmoon's buying houses. He's has no desire to deal with that square anymore. Nope, that's out. I don't care. If I have to go and deal with Sky, I am not sailing all the way back. That square is gone.
Yeah. Meanwhile, level 6 has both Fade and Nuke, so
yeah.
Hooray for the Black Mage, because, I mean, I suppose does Black Mage have... Yeah, Black Mage can get level 6, if I remember correctly.
I think there's 1 or 2 that are locked on 6, but I'll have to pull up my table at some point. You know, I've said this 6,000 times, and I've played this game a billion times. One day, I'm going to learn the magic table.
Well, the good news is, with the randomizer, we don't really have to anymore, because we get the whole, hey, or whenever the spell shows up.
Yeah, that's true. That is a fantastic feature.
Uh-huh.
That was a... Oh, God. Always
Chef's
sitting
kiss.
there.
Mwah.
Yeah, not knowing, especially with some of the armor and such that they can equip, and then also in this having the values, particularly with things being blurst, you can hit, I think it's select, and it shows the actual values of everything, like what their actual evade is and what the absorb is and their damage and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fantastic to have all of those, what you would think is like modern game conveniences, if you will, put into this 30-plus-year-old game. It's great.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about the select bit. I know, of course, with the hand raising, but I keep forgetting, that you can check out all those stats.
Because when you start getting, ice -2 versus a flame +5, which is better, which, or dragon +2, it gets really difficult. I know there's a formula for certain items and armor, it goes by this amount, but that's another thing. One day I'll learn it, but now I don't have to. I push select. Problem solved.
Hey!
My guy raises his hand, and then I push select. Boom.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ani now has made their way to Sky. Gonna check. He's farming. Ooh, looking for. I'm gonna assume this is what he's looking for. It's gotta be. Yeah, he's taking this fight.
Yeah. The blue dragon grind, as I heard it put a little bit earlier this evening, that can definitely be beneficial if you can manage to get him down, and doesn't quite, but the Tyro casts fast, which is kind of scary, but if you get those spells off quick enough, it doesn't matter. And Sawney is able to pull it off and get some folks up to level 12.
Yeah, and also has houses and cabins, so he already got rid of that tile a while ago, so not surprising.
Yeah.
And I suspect Darkmoon will do the same thing once he gets down here, and I have no desire to run this back. Okay, I'm not crazy here. I'm 99% sure this first Tyro battle is that quick encounter right off the power cycle, because I swear it said power on Sony's screen. So this
it is
a great find for a grind.
Yeah, that's off the power cycle. I guess he was content with getting a couple of them. I thought he might take that a little bit further, but I suppose he's hoping he could find some good grind tiles going up through Sky, so that might help him out.
Maybe just find, in the first couple Sky floors, you can also find just eyes naturally floating around in there, and since encounter rarity has been shuffled here, if they've been shuffled to a pretty good spot, you might be able to pull some eyes, which are always a fantastic thing.
Right.
That sounded really, really bad, pull some eyes, but whatever, if nucleation is your thing, I guess. Here, Rebriar going down pretty easily as well. As Darkmoon is going to join him. In Sky. That's absolutely right, Sunflash. We rip party parts off and do things for XP.
Yep. And we watch Catmin cast Brack on the party, so.
Yeah, that's frustrating. This is now a massive info check, but it's going to be tough to make it all the way through.
Yeah, and he has to reset out. Understandable.
Yeah. I'm just going to take some encounters here and go for chests as well. I think this is shake up the encounter table thing a bit as well, which is really smart. If you do hit a power cycle in that situation as opposed to just soft resetting there. Pick a different floor, shake up that encounter table, go for different floors, different encounters, and that will change what you're hitting and what you're getting into.
Right. Yeah, it's understandable. Like you said, shake things up just to where you don't have to worry necessarily about everything that came at you that first time, and maybe find some good stuff on the way. Looks like he didn't really, but...
No, I don't think anything in those chests would qualify as good stuff, unfortunately.
Here, have a few dollars. Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Longsword -4. You can use it if you wanted to, but you wouldn't anyway.
Yeah. And no softs. Feels bad.
Those Catman are really... Oh, and this is the second time as well. This happened to Sonny The same thing, those bad men got the jump on them, so those are super ambushy bad men as well that you have to deal with. Masa is not excluded from weapon blurring. It can be the same blurrings as everything else.
Yes, indeed, we could end up with a negative Masa because the blurring is -5 to +5, so there's plenty of spots for that Masa to go.
That's right, and if it rolls negative, it's a sellable weapon at that point anyway.
Yep. And I don't think the runners have a use-only cursed equipment or anything like that on this, but if they had that too, if the Masa ran neutral, it violates both of those.
Yep. Oh, these Batmen are the tile. Oh, geez, that's even worse.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I just thought they were an encounter because I know you can find them here
Nope.
in Mirage, but this is the annoying guard tile to even get there. Flies 2 takes him down, Darkmoon back into Sky 1. Maybe we'll get to Sky 2 this time, let's see.
Maybe.
Here's those bad men. Only pulled 2 of them, but they insta-kill the Black Mage. Oh my goodness.
Oh dear. This is not fun at all.
The Red Mages are not known for their out-of-battle skill.
No.
And down they go.
Oh boy. So this is essentially going to be the run, is how can you get through this? Can you make it past all the silly Brack men and bad men and all the men's to actually make any progress?
And then, do it again. You have to get out.
Yeah, that too.
This is just rid of the RNGs here, people, because that's your best way to get through this. You're gonna need turn order. You're gonna need run luck. You're gonna need a lot of help to be able to get through this.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we're in for a doozy tonight, folks.
I told you before this started, this happened.
Yeah, shame on you.
I know. I cursed it before we even started.
Commentator's curse is in full effect.
And they have squint instinct kill and crack you.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Jeez, the vampire was like, hey, guess what? I'm not gonna be messing around. Now the Catmen are like, no, you can't go over here.
Yeah, it's proving to be. This was proving to be very salt-inducing. I have a feeling any post-race interviews are probably going to be. We might need a 5-second delay on them.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, the Black Mage is alive, but the Catmen are. See, I wonder if at this point, knowing that those bad men are the first encounter you get in Sky, and I'm seeing both of them power cycle here, this might be a situation where, see, Darkmoon didn't here. He didn't power cycle to try and avoid those, potentially seeing those bad men.
Yeah.
Because they're just as likely to mess you up as these Catmen are. All men are evil. Women were right all along.
Well, nuts to us then.
That's it.
So at what point do you go to OnRack for the vendor check? I think what I would do is I would just kind of keep the save where it is right now, sail off, assuming you can get out of the desert. And maybe, take a run for that and see if that is there. Otherwise, reload the save point at the Mirage if you need to. At least that's how I would approach it.
Conversely, also see if there are softs there as well, because that could be really handy. That even if you get through we're on Mirage 2, Sonny has gotten through the gauntlet, and we've got more fetch items.
Oh god, that's not good. That's not good at all.
He's going south.
Uh-oh, he's gonna keep going.
He's got. You want to fight Warmack? It was right there. It was patrolling. So, oh look, more Catmen.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to matter whichever way you go. Catmen are everywhere.
Yeah. It looks like Darkmoon is settling in for a bit of a grind, probably trying to go after, well, the fun vampires that were causing such great issues, or chimeras.
Cerebri have been fairly full and seem to be going down to one. Ice 3. So that's probably what Dark's looking for. They're also a heck of a lot less beefy than these chimeras are. Jeez. Took like a 400 max roll plus another one up. These chimeras are huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not fun. But he is able to get through it and gets parties up to level 16, so that's not bad at all. It almost feels like at this point you kind of almost have to go for your sort of higher levels, or mid-teens, late teens or so, to try to get anything done here.
Yeah, and Dark did walk that out and save the fight, which is pretty smart. And here's the good pack. Now, the interesting decision will be Darkmoon is out of charges essentially after this fight here. He's got like one Ice 3 charge left. He has houses. He elected on the last time out to not use the houses. Here will be the interesting decision of whether he's going to keep that cabin house tile or not.
Yeah. I notice also Sawneyrath has gone back to grinding the blue tyros.
Yeah, they're regular tyros. That's just, it's masquerading. It's trying to look.
Okay.
Yeah.
So blue steak is just steak with blue coloring.
That's right. It wants to make you think it's the super delicious steak, but it's not. I really, really hope with his palette swaps, the blue steak is colored red to try and hide that it's not as plentiful and good.
Well, perhaps.
So, Sonny is out. Sonny has left. He's sailing west, so that says to me we're gonna check on Rack.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that has been very annoying. Oh, yeah, there it goes. The tile is gone for Darkmoon. That was a house. House gone. House used. Clicked off the board. I don't blame him. Blame him. That's such a long walk to get your charges back.
Yeah, as nasty as that was, yeah, it's definitely understandable. And unfortunately, Sonny realized a little bit into his journey, oh crap, I think I went too far. Had to turn around, but has found his way over to Onrak. And if this ends up being the floater, or something to push things forward, how far behind do you think Sonny is going to feel?
Okay, well, here's bad news. He's not feeling behind because there is no item there.
Yeah, whoopsie.
So this crystal, it has to turn into eventually a canoe or a floater. There's nothing else it can be. Absolutely nothing else it can be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, or a crown which can turn into stuff, but it has to end at a canoe or floater.
Well, Sonny going into Sea Shrine. Sea Shrine, if I remember correctly, on the flights is not incentivized, so it's...
Yep, that is the one Fiend dungeon not incentivized. Every other one is. But he's going left side, so he knows it's not incentivized. So this, to me, says I'm going to go bracken me some Kraken.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. And Darkmoon is able to pick up that crystal. And I will say for the first time, just in case he doesn't make it out.
Yes, there's absolutely no guarantee that this will be the only time Darkmoon picks up the crystal.
Yeah.
Just like it might not have been the first time that the got the TNT from before from behind the vampire.
Yeah, it's oh boy. I'm already thinking about what the runners are going to be saying at the end of the evening slash, well, if they're on the East Coast, morning at this point.
Yeah. Darkmoon had a long stare before he walked onto the Catman tile going, please, please, oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh. Feel bad, man.
If it ain't the bad man, it's the Catman. If it ain't the Catman, it's the bad man. Oh my goodness.
The men are all worse.
That's it. I mean, he has better levels than Sawney has at this point in time. He is level 18 across the board. Sawney's highest character, I believe, was just 17 that they got, so levels are essentially even. This might be a just grind situation, but don't grind on that. Oh god. Oh, Red Eye Kylos, no one likes them. They're horrible.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely avoid that.
Sandworms that die to 130 damage are good.
Yeah. And if you can brack a crack, that would be good too.
So Sonny is on the Kraken floor, made his way all the way through. Get the last few steps here before we get to the Fiend of Water. He's made it. He's got it. Here comes the Brack fight. Oh, he didn't fire Brack with the fighter. That's interesting. Probably forgot the fighter had Brack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, second Brack. Oh, boom. Kraken does some crack.
Yeah. Nice luck on Sawneyrath's part.
Now, here's an interesting thought. If you're unfamiliar with our bingo board, our runners can see this bingo board where it shows both people's bingo board and their progression and everything. And part of the rules is as soon as you do something, you have to light it up. Darkmoon just saw defeat Kraken with Brack, knowing that there's no progression there. How much do you think that scares him? That he's going, oh my god, he got this, he got it out, he's already killed Kraken, oh my god, what do I do? Like, that's gotta put a little fear in the back of your head, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be, well, maybe, but it doesn't seem to be changing his plan too much, because he's still diving in.
No, I mean, his plan has to be this, because he knows progression has to come from this. There is no potential other thing. It's just the fact that it's already been done probably makes him think like, oh my god, I must be miles behind at this point. He got the RNG luck, he got through, oh my god, how has he done this?
Yeah.
You know, it's a crazy play. Leave and go kill Kraken. The other thing, if you're talking meta games in this, is I was just about to say this on Flash, was Darkmoon hasn't checked the on-rack shot. So maybe he's going, oh my god, have I missed something really obvious? And if I bounce out of this a couple more times, do I just have to run to on-rack?
Oh, perhaps. I mean, it looks like, I don't know. Sawney finding those softs.
That's huge. He buys softs. Darkmoon is back into Sky. Sky 1 here, the bad men. They're not nice. That's why they're bad men. And down goes the Black Mage. These bad men are really, really bad and punching really, really bad.
Yeah.
So many times I can say bad. That's bad. Very bad.
They are badly doing bad things to bad runners.
People.
Well, they're not bad runners. They're very good runners.
Nah, Darkmoon will say he's a bad runner, I know.
He has no room to say that. I have room to say that about myself, but not him.
I don't even run in tournaments. I'm not that crazy. You silly? I don't want to embarrass myself and show that I'm awful at this.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just enjoy competing. I know I'm not going to do all that well at it, and I'm certainly not going to be in the ranks of the upper echelon, if you will. But hey, it's it's one of those things. If you have fun doing it, it doesn't really matter how badly you do. I say it just because my humor tends to be very self-deprecating. So that's just I'm poking fun at myself, knowing full and darn well that I'm going to keep doing it anyway, no matter how badly I do.
My problem is I'm completely fine with being self-deprecating to myself, but then I start doing something and my competitive side comes out, and I get really agitated when I'm not doing what as well as I know I should be. And that just makes me angry. And that's just not good.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's one of the things that you kind of have to worry about and sort of measure when you're competing on something like that is, yeah, controlling that tendency to just want to beat yourself up over everything that you're doing or not doing or stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to be an incredibly competitive curling person. Like, I mean, national level curling through juniors and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can say in complete honesty, I've beaten 2 Olympic gold medalists. That's not a lie. Honest to God, I've done it. We were younger. Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. One of them, if you're from my area of town, pretty much everyone beat this guy. No one knows how he won the Olympics. Good for John Schuster out of the USA if you follow curling. But I stopped for a few years just because when you're doing, yes, I am flexing, it's true. But when you do anything at that level, you have to put an insane amount of time into it. Obviously, if you want to be really, really good at FFR, you have to put an insane amount of time into it. And I took a break for a while, and then when I came back and I started curling again, I was like, this will be just like it was before, and I instantly pretty much just gave up playing after that, because all I would do was beat myself up, because I'd be like, how come I can't do what I was doing before? It's like, because you practiced 40 hours a week before, you dummy. You're not doing that anymore.
And you ain't as young as you used to be either.
Yeah, that's the other part too. Jesus, body is not the same from when it was 18 to now being in its mid-30s. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, Darkmoon has the second time gotten the crystal after we've been trying to kill time figuring out who will actually get this crystal. So, down goes some Catmen. I didn't see if those were the trap tile Catmen or... Oh no. Oh no, he walked the wrong way. Darkmoon walked the wrong way. He got the crystal. Darkmoon has the crystal, and then he went back and he beat the hard fight, and he beat the Catman.
So he's going to go back to that box and realize that he forgot.
I swear, did he not pick it up? Am I going crazy? I swear he picked it up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, because I don't think Sawney had made it back to that point yet. Or, I don't know. Could be wrong.
Am I watching?
No, Sawney did get it.
Sawney was the one who got it. Okay. I looked at the wrong screen for a second. I thought I was going crazy, which is also entirely possible.
Yeah.
Darkmoon also going the Tiamat route as opposed to the Catman route. What does that say when a fiend is your lesser of 2 evils?
It says it's a fun seed.
Well, I have to ask him about that. That's what I'm going to have to try and remember. So after you got the crystal, you decided that Tiamat was a better kill than Catman. Why?
Well, considering they've been Brackmen all night, yeah.
Yeah. Both are on the bridge. Good fight here. And our Hydras, that'll get some levels. Sawney is now... Sawney is now at Tia. Here come... We got Bane. We got Bane. Do we have a... Oh, there is a Bane Tiamat square.
Yep.
So Bane going off. Bane. And... gonna have Duel and Tia's here.
Have Bane with a side of Bane and a little extra Bane thrown in.
Yeah. Throwing Bane.
Hey, there you go. I think 5th Bane did it.
5th, yeah. 4th or 5th Bane got it. We've got Sleep Touch on Tia, because why not?
Yeah. And Sawney immediately saves his game and is probably going to throw a lit match and an entire gallon of gasoline, or probably the entire world supply of gasoline, onto Mirage Tower.
Oh no! Oh god! Darkmoon, oh no! It misses turn order. We need turn order. You got
Ouch.
Oh, and one of the harshest things that happened in there was a misclick as well. That he got an Ice 3 instead of a Bane. Now, there's no guarantee that one would have hit, but that feels bad.
Yeah.
So now, if you're Darkmoon, you most definitely feel behind that you've seen Bracken or Kraken, and you've seen Sawney also Bane in the Tiamat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you probably do feel really behind right now after seeing both of them get lit.
Yeah. Okay, so we should probably turn our attention to this bingo board thing for a minute here. While Sawney's traversing the world and Darkmoon's beating his head against Sky here, because it's just what happens. We know they're doing column 4, obviously both of them, that's the forced column. Looking at what's happened, what do you see as a viable second line at this point in time?
For Sawney, I mean, the first thing that draws my attention would be row 5, because Hollow Giants, if you can, it says walk the Hollow Giants. You ain't got to beat all the encounters on the Hollow Giants. So if you can get away from those metal men, and you don't have, or if you can kill them, preferably. But if you can get through that, you can do that fairly easily. Save in the Lake North once you get the canoe. That's a done deal. And then you get 3 different dragons. That's honestly, yeah, I'm looking row 5.
Yeah, I think Sawney doing row 5 makes a lot of sense. As we'll get back to that in a second, as we have finally a big check on progression where we get a canoe. Hey, we can finally go somewhere else now. So we now have 3 things we can do. 4, actually. We've got ice and volcano. We've got waterfall and a caravan. I'm going to assume we're staying on this side of the world right now and doing ice and volcano. Is that what your plan is?
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'm kind of curious to see what Sawney is doing right now. I guess he's trying to get a specific encounter, I would imagine, because he's just running around the map and running away from everything else.
So looking at their feet, different things. Oh, he's going on his required tile to defeat 3 different lizards.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Excuse me, I have a coughing fit apparently. So he's looking for the iguana at this point in time.
Oh, and there you go. Ta-da! So now, if he can find Soria and Agama in Volcano, he good.
Yeah, Soria can be found either around Ordeals, which is another option we have that I didn't mention, as Darkmoon can't Bane Tia again.
Oh dear. Oh, and Darkmoon has forfeited from the race. Oh my goodness. That is totally understandable. Yeah, I mean, because after an hour, this was torture. Just absolute torture. And Darkmoon's mention in chat is, I hate this game. I can't blame him for a second.
Yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth going on right now.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him one bit. He probably feels so behind.
Yeah.
Given the fact that Sawney was able to get them both. That was really, really unfortunate by Darkmoon. I don't blame him one bit for just being like, that's it.
Yeah.
there was probably some very, very choice words that were said
Yeah, I
as
imagine.
as soon as that Bane didn't land for the umpteenth time. It was just like, that's it. You win. Congrats. Well, all right. Well, I mean, the feed's technically not over. I mean, Sonny does have to complete it. He has to legally complete it in order to earn the win. So we'll truck along here with Sonny. We'll see his progress through this.
Yep, absolutely. And also, go ahead. I'll go ahead and say, and we've implied it, but I'll go ahead and straight out say it. GG's to Darkmoon. This seed was pure bleep, 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 bleep. So definitely understandable. You did really well, nonetheless. So GG's and
Yes.
have a good night.
Yeah, between both that stupid vampire just blocking him hard at the start, and then the Catman Badman combination, just no luck whatsoever. So Sonny's now into Volcano. We know that this is it made the most sense of where to go. I assume this is going to be a direct dive straight down to the incentive chest. Probably hoping to see an Agama along the way as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah.
So, anyone who plays this game with any regularity, whether for fun or just watches matches or whatever, sometimes randomizers do things, and this was one of those situations where, not to say that Sonny didn't see a lot of bad. Obviously, Sonny saw some bad. Ooh, one of the dragons here on the trap tile. So that could be good. But man, Darkmoon felt like he was really banging his head against the wall for a while, which is really unfortunate. But
Yeah.
that's how this game goes sometimes.
Yeah, I think just in terms of I mean, I hate to sound like we're kind of doing a post-op on a race that's still going because Sony is still going, but I think him stepping away and doing that, going ahead and going into Sea Shrine and taking care of that, I think might have helped a little bit because when you get into something like that and you're just over and over and over again, and it seems like it's never going to end and it's intractable and so on and so forth, to be able to just step away and do something else and just clear your mind a little bit, even if it's another dungeon or whatever, I think that can help make a little bit of a difference mentally. So I think that helped with Sawneyrath, just being able to step away and say, okay, I've got to just get out of here and do something else and feel like I'm actually getting something done.
Yeah, it makes the tilt not feel as hard, for sure. Where you're able to actually say, "Hey, I've accomplished something now," and that always feels better than just constantly having the same outcome over and over and over again. And that mental aspect is huge.
Yeah.
So getting that sort of mental break and being able to reset, I think, is what was able to put Sonny back in a position. But I mean, it's also call a spade what it is sometimes too. I mean, he got better luck, and but also to Sonny's credit, he's running all four members of his party, which in the situation he was in was huge because it only one brack hitting while we get key, which is I believe yeah, that's item go mode at this point in time.
Yeah.
But having all four party members meant that even if one brack got through, he still had three people. Whereas if one brack got through on Darkmoon's side, you're already down to two. And if a punch even lands from those bad men like it was after on the Black Mage, it was pretty much one-shotting them anyway. So there was a little extra security on Sonny's side as well, running the 4-man versus Darkmoon's 3.
Yeah. It's I mean, really, when we boil down to the basics of this rando, it's or this seed specifically, it's going to be like you said, and like chat said, rando's going to rando, and sometimes it rando's great, and you're done in an hour, and everybody's all patting themselves on the back. And then sometimes you get something like this where it goes absolutely sideways and it really tests your ability to be able to function, frankly.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately for both runners, but especially unfortunately for Darkmoon, it just did not work out well in any respect. And so it's especially considering how late this is because it is, let's see, it's 11:15 for me and I'm in Central Time, so it's tomorrow for the East Coast. And so
Yes, it
it,
is.
it's definitely understandable being this late. Folks, I would expect being probably a little tired and fatigued, and then running up into this buzzsaw. Yeah, no shame whatsoever in deciding that one's best chance is to just walk away and kind of live to fight another day, so to speak.
So we've got the fairy fight. We got one confuse off. It doesn't do anything. Misses. And then, of course, the fighter, which is the person who has confuse, which is always a great sentence to say, the fighter has confuse, which is the only person I believe who has confuse. Yeah, it is the only person who has confuse. So we're banking on this fighter getting that confuse off to take care of the required square of confuse. Oh, and there it is.
There it went.
And now that black belt who has been tempered up multiple times is just gonna punch the living snot out of Carrie here in a second.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because in terms of levels, Sawneyrath is into the early 20s now, so that's approaching, pretty decent territory as far as a black mage or black belt is concerned.
Yeah, 21. They get 6 hits, so there we go. 2 actual hits takes care of Carrie. All done. Going back in, he's gonna look for that Agma now.
Yeah.
Oh, reset, just reset. Yeah.
Yeah, not there.
No one wants to see those anymore. The other thing that you can do for the 3 lizards as well as the 3 dragons, as I know at this point Sonny's killed both a white dragon and a blue dragon. Killing things in Topher counts. So Saria's, Agamas, as well as pretty much all the dragons show up in the first few floors of Topher. Saria's on the Lich floor, and Agama's on Carrie's floor, all on Topher. So you don't even have to worry necessarily about finding them now. You can do a little bit of a walk around in those areas if you'd like as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially since you've already gotten 2 of them. And yeah, you just have that one left and you can go ahead and hit the square, so
Yeah. So I think at this point we're going to see the row 5 finalized for Sawneyrath at this point. That seems to be the most likely scenario that they're going to go for here.
yeah. Yeah. Row 5 makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of funny because at the beginning, before the seed started, they were talking in chat and basically said, "Hey, row 5 should not be forced because you had Bracken the Kraken and Never Promote on the same line, and if Brack rolled high and the black mage had to promote to get it, then of course obviously that finishes that off. But fortunately for the runners, the Brack worked out very, very well. And so it was fulfillable. So now that makes it to where row 5 is really in a lot of ways ideal.
Yeah, not having to worry about promote at this point, it's now become irrelevant as soon as Brack was found at the first level.
Yeah.
So you can take care of row 5 now. Of course, conversely, a backup would have been row 3 as well, which again we were saying if you have a black belt, particularly in Darkmoon side, I could have seen him going row 3 for his running the 3-man. That black belt was going to get ground to 42 anyway.
Oh yeah.
He's going to check trap tiles. some saber-tooths and normal tigers, and
Mm.
probably happy that it wasn't tigers with Catman.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, well, I think he's seen enough of those tigers.
Yeah, that type of tiger is just. Ugh. Come on, man. Cats also have something really bad too. Just for complete serendipity and closure on it all. Just they also have to have something great.
Well, uh, depends on your definition of the word great at this point.
And then obviously also bad men have to have, or evil men have to have something evil as well. Just all men in this seed are wrong. That's just what has to happen. Trap tiles here. I assume we're looking for a good grind tile at this point in time, because that's pretty much the only thing that is stopping Sonny from being able to finish everything. He's in item go mode. He's done. He's got everything he needs. So
Yeah,
ooh, nice +4. That's pretty nice.
yeah, that is good. And yeah, I figure that is what he's looking for, is try to find something good to be able to get everybody going, but hasn't managed to find it yet, unfortunately.
No, I haven't found any super fantastic grind tile at this point in time. Iron +4 also at some point in time was really, really good. So some decent decent things going on. He's also kept so it was a cloth and a cap, so that might open up
Row
row
3.
3 for him as well.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that myself. So yeah, we were both on the same wavelength there.
I think this is going to come down to, do I find a good enough grind tile where I just want to get somebody up to 42, like I just want to get my black belt up to 42, or if not, then I'll just run the full 4-man party and high 20s to early 30s. I'll just go to Topher with all 4 and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, in vanilla stats, an ice sword is possible to beat the game with. I mean, it's not ideal by any stretch, but it's possible. But an ice +4 makes you feel a little better. You've got access to temper. Have we seen fast? Check my.
Well, I was gonna say, we go back to the notes. I have not seen it to my awareness.
No.
I'm not seeing
looking through everything. Yeah, I don't see fast as well. I mean, it's got to be 7 or 8. So you haven't. Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Never mind. Problem solved.
Yep. The end.
Yeah, I don't care about a grind at this point. I genuinely don't. I've got a massa +4. If I've got 20, 28, 29 on a fighter, he'll win. It's fine.
And we also have eyes on that grind tile too, so...
Okay, so we have a 3-eye grind and a massa +4. Here's everything you need. Here you go. Just apparently the answer was just come to ice. Everything you're gonna want it for levels and equipment is here.
Yeah, it's just you had to get the crystal to canoe to be able to actually do it.
Yeah. So if you were able to get through the first hour of the game, really opened up for you. The problem was getting through the first hour of the seed.
So apologies, Darkmoon, if you watch this VOD and you come to this point, I am so sorry, because you are probably throwing out every 4-letter word you can possibly imagine right now, and deservedly so. Yeah. But oh my god. Oh, that has to really just stick. And I imagine it's kind of sticking in Sonny's craw too, because he's probably thinking, my god, if I'd just been able to get to this sooner, this would have been, sayonara.
Yeah, and again, the other big thing too is, once we got the canoe, our item go mode was the key in Volcano. This is like, these are the most natural, absolute natural progression that you go to in terms of proximity routing. You don't care about floater now. This is it. We're done. Darkmoon joining us
Oh no!
in chat. He's looked at this and just said, "Screw this, I give up."
I am sorry, Darkmoon, but I mean, I said it in chat already, but GG, that was, I mean, you did good to put up with that for an hour, and I think I would have lost my mind and my hair and every sense of sanity at all. So definitely GG's to you, and I'm sorry that this ended up working out the way it did in more than one respect.
Sometimes life.
Yeah.
Games, Well, we almost got 32 across the board here. Yeah. Yeah, him bracketing Kraken, he left. He had the same problem that you did. He got bounced by those Catmen multiple times and made the play of saying, he did at that point, I believe, know that Crystal was there, just wasn't able to actually get it out because he had gone up to Tio, tried to get up to Tio once as well, I believe. And just couldn't take care of it just from everything that was there. And he actually had went and gone to OnRack in the hopes that the vendor item was sitting in OnRack, as that was literally the only other check to be able to see if progression lay there. And so that's what ended up, he kind of took a mental break from the world and went to go check the vendor item, which didn't exist there anyway. So it was a null check.
Yeah, it's understandable that you were tilted on that, because I mean, when we saw that the Catmen had Brack, we were really concerned. When we saw that they also had Squint, it just went from there to, well, screw this. And then when the bad men were ambush happy and basically blocking you from being able to go much beyond that, yeah, that it just turned it to a pile of absolute radioactive nuclear goop.
Yeah, that's just not fun at that point. That's just really annoying.
Oh, I have to admit, I am surprised I'm able to be so coherent at this point. So I appreciate the compliment. But
yes. Sorry,
no,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to keep reminiscing, so don't mind me.
I was just going to say, meanwhile, while we're talking about this, Sonny still beating down eyes, because why not? You have everything you want right here.
So, yeah, he's pushing for that 40, I assume, to go ahead and go for row 3.
The only thing about row 3, though, I believe he had the cap and the cloth, but I don't know if we've seen gloves and buckler, which means they could potentially be floater locked in Gaia. So, I guess if he wants to run around and find the floater.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how far he does ultimately take this, just to see if he's content with getting to 40, or if he wants to just go ahead and kind of push the envelope further.
At 48, I believe the black belt has the ribbon magic defense. So, if you want to go all the way up there, and then plus at 42, it becomes essentially the One Punch Man.
Yeah, it looks like he is going for max. Which, I mean, as Darkmoon's mentioning in chat, why not just go ahead and do it? You've got the 3-eye grind, which is as good as it gets.
Yeah, this is the grind tile that everybody wants to find, and these eyes have done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They haven't thrown out a single skill, not a single spell. They have like 130 HP. It's a perfect eye tile.
Yeah, they're hitting for like 15 damage.
Yeah. So the decision will come once the black belt right here hits 42 if he's gonna walk. He's healing, so I suspect he's walking up now. 42 is the big break point for the black belt, and yeah, he's done. It's like good enough. We'll be fine now.
And now everything shall flee from the might that is the Light Warriors.
Yeah. Watch Catman show up. Come on.
Ha! Oh, come on now. We've had enough curses in this sea. We don't need you making it any worse.
You know what? At this point, screw it. We're here all night, people.
Hey! I've been broadcasting for almost the entire day. You hush now. I want to go to bed at some point.
No one may sleep.
Quit it! Quit it!
Yeah. He's out. He's out. I mean, at this point, I don't see what's. I'm going to assume he's going to check the armor shops around to see if he can find that buckler and cap, and then just go.
Yeah.
You know, see that buckler and cap are there. If not, that makes things a little more annoying.
Yeah.
Having to go deal with the Saving Lake North Waterfall and go all the way over on that side of the world, but so I don't recall if any of those were floater locked or not. So we'll see as this plays out here. We'll check out the armor shop here in Crescent and see if it has anything that we need.
Yeah. Well, there's your gloves.
Gloves. All right. So now we're a buckler short.
Yep. I like how he is putting and organizing all of the crap armor onto the black belt because he knows he's not going to equip it. So just use the black belt as the free armor slots that it is.
Nuke is learnable by both red and fighter. That's black and fighter because fighter needs to learn nuke.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yep. Blurst classes.
Yeah, that was great when we saw that right off the start. Here, have some black and white man. Here, cure 4 right off the hop for you, Mr. Fighter. No problem. What's that? We have to brack a Kraken. You can learn that too.
You get a brack. You get a brack. You all get a brack.
Oh my god!
Ah! Yeah, we've clearly been up too late, just in case anybody's wondering.
When you watch this back on YouTube, yes, I've made a fool of myself.
Yes, for anybody who is watching this on YouTube, the time is currently 12:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's the word.
Yeah. I was sitting there thinking for a second, I'm like, no, it's not daylight savings yet, is it? No, it is not. So, yes, it is 12:35 a.m. February 26th, 2021. Just in case anybody wanted to know when Darkmoon's mind broke, we would say about probably 20 minutes prior.
By pulling up the chat, it was at 12:11. That's when he exploded.
So, yeah, about 20 minutes prior. So, in case we need to encapsulate it for the historical record. All right. Meanwhile, Sawneyrath is going to go show us what is in Canaria Locked, and it is Astos' crown.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares at this point. Well, I mean, do you check it to see if it's the floaters? That way, if you can fly to Gaia,
yeah,
and see if your buckler is there, because you're still looking for a buckler.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly does open up more shops, of course, so that doesn't hurt.
Buckler sold. It's just a matter of where it's sold. We don't know yet.
Right.
You could always get lucky, and it could be in a chest, but with random treasures and such, you never know what the heck you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You can't bank on it being there, but that went too fast. I couldn't read what the heck that said.
Well, the good news is they've got it set up to where it'll tell us after the fight anyway, so hey, that was a nice sword. Le dud.
The Lord, oh, fantastic. Yeah, so here's a question. Do you sail the world, I guess, now? I mean, you're not really on the clock, but I guess you're just sailing the world looking for a buckler.
I mean, I suppose I would, yeah, in this situation, because I mean, one square away from finishing. Once you get that buckler, you sail straight for Topher because you ain't gotta kill any other fiends or anything like that. So
Yeah, he'll more than likely be able to find the Agama and Saria. You'll hunt around for the Agama and Saria
yeah,
in Topher. So yeah, going up, get the boat.
I think it took a second for him to remember where he put his ship, which is understandable.
He's like, I parked this in a really weird spot. Where was that again? So, over the hills and through the woods to grandmother's house we go again. Ugh. I'm gonna guess this is coming back now to either Ordeals or Waterfall to see if we can find Floater and check the armor shop.
Perhaps.
At the Onrak, see if Buckler's there. I think that might be my first play, is going straight to... Oh, and also, you know what? I'd be heading to that Onrak area, unless he's gonna switch over to row 5, which you still need to go to the Onrak area for anyway. Because we're still looking for a vendor item. I mean, it could be at Caravan. I mean, there could be Floater at Caravan still.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's still multiple options of where things could be at this point in time. Looks like check the Elfland South Dock, check the Elfland armor shop, see if Buckler was there.
Yeah.
Seems to be what's happening now.
Yeah, and you've also, I mean, in terms of trying to find a buckler, you've also got all the key lock stuff. But
Yeah.
he wasn't really, it didn't seem like he was really too interested in checking it outside of Canaria.
No buckler here.
Just making sure he had the cap and gloves.
Yeah, he's like, I think it was also, what the heck is the other item I need now at this point in time?
Yeah.
Oh. Now probably sail back to the Onrak area. I'd check the Onrak armor shop, and then, to be honest, if I didn't find Floater either at Caravan or Waterfall, I'd probably just pivot to row 5. Yeah, I don't know if we checked Melmond or not, or if that was one that was done.
I know one of the runners did. I don't remember which one it was, and I'm assuming it was Darkmoon, since there goes Sawney to go look.
Hey, there it is.
There's your buckler.
Problem solved. Alright, now we just gotta kill us an Agama and a Saria on our way down to Chaos, and that's game.
Yep, that's all, folks.
And I say that because outside of finding those 2 fights, there's going to be nothing that stops this party. Fingers crossed. Like, I don't... With a 42 fighter and black belt, that's... With a +4 Masa and Fists of Doom, not much is gonna live.
Yeah, there's not much that could stop him. Of course, yeah, that being said, there was incidents before of Bane going through black belt MDef, so yeah, you don't want that happening.
God, run.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I know you're level 4. I know you're level 42. Just run.
Sawneyrath sees his life flash before his eyes again.
That was a stop to PTSD. I wonder what he's... I think he just realized that there's nothing he needs at this point. He's just like, why the heck did I come over here?
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that too.
Yeah,
Of course, I mean, it's one of those things when you're so used to running the game normally, I say in air quotes, when you're so used to running the game sort of with traditional goals and a traditional format of, hey, go grab all the key items and then light the orbs and then go kill chaos. It's easy to get into that pattern of, hey, I've got to do everything before I go to the finish line, and then come to realize, oh, well, I actually don't have to do all that stuff. I can just take care of everything I've got left, and Bob's your uncle.
Sonny has cleared it up in the race room here, and he goes, I'm dumb. I forgot that this is regular Topher and not short Topher. So I assume that means he was thinking that he couldn't get his lizards in Topher.
Yeah, that's quite all right. It's late. It's been a long match. It's been a crazy one. Yeah, those sorts of mental lapses are certainly forgivable.
Surprised he remembers there is a Topher.
Yeah.
You mean the final boss is in Catman? Is it Catman?
Yeah. Yes, we have alternate final bosses turned on. It's a party of 9 Catmen. Ha 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 ha.
On you.
Screw you, Seed. Ooh, Unrunnable Wizards is not rough, but it still kind of stinks.
Just time trolly at this point. That's what that is. Right, our fighter can cast nuke, problem solved.
Yeah, fair.
And this time we blow on a trumpet instead of, oh, hey, look, unrunnable dragons. Hey, you can light up your 3 dragon tile now as well. Now that, who cares? But you can do it.
Yeah, not that means much.
But you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does too.
Hey! More tiles. More real estate.
Here, look, more dragon.
Just in case you weren't satisfied enough, there you go.
All of these are runnable too. Every encounter is runnable just to absolutely be the jerkiest thing possible. Seed gave you one good thing, and that was Ice Cave, which is really rare to say that the good thing of the seed is Ice Cave, because usually that's the place that is just awful.
Yeah.
You know. So here's some Gurmadusas. This is a lightning. Yeah, they're a little bit beefier on the side. Just surprising. But, they'll die. But here's where the fun part of the run is going to come, and that's going to be the running around in circles looking for these lizards.
Right, yeah. And Sawneyrath did make clear in chat that was what he was doing, is he's looking for Sarias and Agamas so he can hit that last square and be free to go after Gil Chaos. So, time to get some extra steps and cardio in just to make sure that you're good to go with your 10,000 steps for the day.
Yeah, what it is at this point now, just running in circles until finally the encounter table gives you something that is good. Except, Lord Fizzlebeef, I apologize, I can't remember who he ran against. J-Man, I think it was. Fizzle literally lost his race because of this exact flag. He could not for the life of him. Sarias were invisible. Like, he spent a good 10 to 15 minutes in both Topher and the area around Ordeals looking for Saria. Like, it was insane that they just did not exist.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a race that was like neck and neck the whole time, and just he had done absolutely everything he could possibly do except kill Asario, which was on his required line. It was the last thing left, and it just allowed, I think it was J-Man that he played against that allowed him to get past it, just all because of stupid green lizards.
Yeah, I'd look back at the challenge. It was J-Man.
Okay, yeah. Hey, my memory's not completely gone then.
Oh, that's good. That
Not to my
makes
wife.
one of us.
My wife may beg to differ about my memory, but whatever.
Fair.
And you know what? The Sarias are in that top right room. Go over there.
Ha!
Yeah, there you go. Try this. Try this side of the hall. Makes absolutely no difference, but try it. Hopefully that when we eventually get fiends, they're gonna die really, really, really quickly, probably. But good God. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this seed has destroyed Catmen for both Sawny and Darkmoon.
Yeah.
They will never be allowed to look at Catmen ever again. They will never want to see Catmen ever again. Just if they own cats, there might be unfortunate things that happen to real cats. I mean, it's just bad all around.
No, take him to the shelter instead. Please.
Yeah, cats get a bath. That's what's happening. Ugh. No. This is what it is, unfortunately. This, like we said, sometimes rando is just rando. And
Yep.
it almost never fails that in a race, there always seems to be one person who hits an absolute brick wall. And the other one just for whatever reason. And again, it's not to say Sonny didn't hit a brick wall, and it could have been that the 4-man strat was the absolute correct one for that scenario. Because I think that might have been the big deciding factor, was the fact that he was able to keep 4 people up and did keep 4 people up for so long that allowed him to get through it. But just the amount of times Darkmoon got to Tia and still wasn't even able to land like probably a total of 12 to 15 Banes. That's frustrating.
Yeah. It looks like Sonny has hit the brick wall of trying to find the Soria because it just will not spawn.
No. Just
This is just getting ridiculous at this point.
yeah, this is 100% that since encounter rarities are shuffled amongst areas and that yet again these stupid Saria have been absolutely shuffled to the 1 in 64 chance of showing up. It's just like, why? Why must you do this?
Yeah, Sonny's mentioning he thinks they might have gotten deleted because he's run into every encounter except them.
One day a lizard will appear.
One day, sometime next week, perhaps.
Oh no, I think his black mage is out of nuke charges. What is he going to do?
But whatever shall he do? He can. It's not like he can punch things or kill them with a really powerful sword.
I know. I think he's in real trouble here. Check has just completely been impossible. I mean, he doesn't even have warp or exit to get out of this situation. This is a reset. It's over.
Yeah, exactly. It's the end. We're
It's
done.
over. Yeah. I think at this point, this is a forfeit. Clearly, the seed was broken in every way. Sarias and Agamas don't exist. We're sorry. Darkmoon, you get a second chance.
We're sorry.
Yes. Well, I don't even think we could be sorry. They don't exist anymore. They're gone. point, I'm pretty much just down to making irrelevant sound effects.
Oh, nice. And the restreamer is threatening to boot us for the puns. Oh, dear. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on YouTube and you hear one of our voices suddenly cut out for the rest of the seed,
Reset out.
understandable.
He did reset out. He's like, screw this place. It doesn't have them. He's gonna go back to the ordeals area. See
Yeah.
if he can find them there.
The seed is trolling us one last time.
Just because you haven't had enough yet. Oh, this is smart. Oh, I like this play. He's gonna check the 2 trap tiles here because there is a Force Aria trap tile on this set of trap tile on this trap tile check. So if it ends up being here, he's gonna feel. Oh God, run! Just run! Just run! Get out!
It's man cats though, not cat men. So the man cats didn't have anything, fortunately.
No, I think they were the same ones because he has. I think he's got his names inversed on his. Because I'm pretty sure it had the inverse names on his screen from before. Because he's got the fun flags on for color palette, and he's got the weird name changes as good or bad men were okay men.
I did see that, yes.
So,
I had to crack up a little bit at the okay men bit.
Yeah. One of the fun flags that you can put on are alternate names and color palette swaps and things the randomizer allows, as well as sprite swaps and things. So, because Mario is normally in this game.
Yes, Mario and Luigi and Toad, and I can't quite tell what that 4th one is.
I think that's Daisy.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Daisy.
Yeah.
Oh look, all he's running into over here are so those are the inverse named Catmen because it was throwing out Brack and Squint. So
Okay.
I wonder what Catmen are named on his alternate naming then. Just you know, I haven't seen enough of them. At least now they're running away due to their awesome might, but they don't understand the power and trauma that their brethren have caused at this point in time.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go again, wrecking the swamp here around ordeals. Sorry, I do have encounters here. It is possible to find them.
Is making a wise choice and going ahead and saving.
Oh, I have a question in chat. How's this going? This has been the best seed ever made, ever done. Ever.
Matthew, how long do you have?
So the first gatekeeper of this seed was the vampire. No, I'm not lying. It was the vampire. At a very, very low level, you had to kill the vampire because that's where progression led. And by progression, I mean that allowed you to get into Sky Palace. Because real progression laid up in Sky. The problem was getting through Sky was an absolute. Oh God. Yeah, it was bad. Was my mic going again? Oh jeez.
Yeah. So what they ended up finding in Sky Palace, or in Mirage, first off, was the trap tile going from Mirage into Sky was Catmen with Brack and Squint. So bad and worse. And then if you managed to get beyond that trap tile and actually get into Sky Palace, you ran into bad men that ambushed and tore you apart. So it were bad. It were really bad. And both Sawneyrath and Darkmoon they bashed their heads up against that multiple times because well, that ended up being the only place where they could go for progress because because Sky Palace had what eventually the crystal, which led to the canoe, which opened up much of the rest of the world. So, oh boy, it was something else. Suffice to say. But yeah, it was. This has been very, very rough. Darkmoon forfeited after an hour because he just got so tilted and frustrated that it was understandable. And Sawney has continued on because he has to finish the seed in order to actually finish the game. But he is stuck trying to get the last trap tile, or the last tile on his card, which is kill 3 different lizards. However, those lizards don't seem to want to appear anywhere, ever. So this is the situation that Sawney's in right now, and it has been a slog, to say the least.
You killed iguanas. We're looking for agamas and sarias at this point still.
And unfortunately, having a whale of a time trying to find it. He spent probably about, what I'd say, probably 10 minutes trying to find them in Temple of Fiends Revisited, and did not find any of them.
He walked that earth floor for a solid 10 minutes hoping to find that pack.
Right. So while you're at it, you might as well grab treasures on the way. Hey! It's the floater!
It may legitimately be easier to check every single trap tile in this game than it will be to find a Saria in the wild.
Who knows? I mean, at this point, it's just got to be utterly frustrating because I think I would argue that at this point, Sawneyrath has gone for, I'd say in the neighborhood of between 50 and 100 encounters.
Oh, at least.
Just trying to find these. So yeah.
It's been a slog finding these. I genuinely think at this point you turn in that floater and just start running to every trap tile in the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I think there are some that haven't yet been checked out, such as, for instance, the trap tile that you'd find in Temple of Fiends. Let's see. What are some others that haven't been done? I don't know. It's hard to say exactly, but yeah, I mean, pretty much you're going for everyone you can find, and now Sonny's going into Marsh without... and Marsh is not incentivized, so there's no other reason to go in here. It's just going to check trap tiles. So yeah, this has definitely been a seed to, well, I mean, remember, I suppose, a seed to remember, a seed to forget, a seed to pour an entire gallon of gasoline on and burn to the ground. All of it at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, and it's wolves. Uh-oh, that's not it. Oh, and these aren't working out either. It's really unfortunate. And unfortunately, none of the trap tiles in Marsh worked out. So going on to find more and go through all the trap tiles possible to try to figure this out. Meanwhile, everything else is running away from Sawney because he has gotten his fighters up to the low to mid 40s at least, and they were probably even higher while he was still trying to find those, trying to find the Saurias in Temple of Fiends. So pretty much anything on the ground here is going to run away from anything that he has because his party is just insanely strong, and there's really nothing that will stand up to it.
Yeah, at some point he's going to find what he needs to find, but ugh, it's frustrating for now, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's very much so. And I'm thinking the trap tiles that he's looking for are probably going to be the ones on the next floor. I guess it's Earth 4 is what you would call it. Because, yeah, he's using the rod, so he hadn't been there yet. So it's a possibility that those trap tiles might possibly have them. Oh, there's your Agama.
Hey, there's one.
Yay!
Watch the very first encounter. And he gets onto carry floor B. Agama because, yes.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be, though? Now the question is, what's faster, run out this way or just run down and kill Lich? It's probably just run down and kill Lich.
I mean, you could also reset out technically as well.
Yeah. I mean, since he did actually kill it.
Yeah, once you hear the fanfare and you've completed the fight, then it's all good.
Looks like Sawneyrath is contemplating his options, saying what he wants to do. And I was going to try to look at these trap tiles and see if they happen to have any. Oh, more Agamas. I would presume that the trap tiles down here are the same ones as the ones that he just did. Maybe I would presume what he's thinking right now is, hey, I'll go ahead and check them just to make sure. Because at this point in time, you don't want to have to come back here again. If you don't choose a trap tile and then you think, oh crap, what if that one had it? Alright, so looks like Sawneyrath is choosing to just go ahead and kill Lich, which will definitely get him out of the dungeon, and also fulfill that spot too, so... Of course, he can't complete that line because neither of the parties chose 2 black mages, but still.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta kill Lich.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's going to take a while anyway. Just punch it and down it goes.
One punch and poof.
So just in case if anybody didn't think that Sawney was powerful enough to win the day, well, yeah. Killing Lich pretty much would disabuse you of that notion. Alright, so it looks like we are likely off to the waterfall trap tile to see if it is the magic Sauria.
When the seed says you have to check every trap tile to be able to win. Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just what this does. Can you imagine even if this was, like, again, Darkmoon was in this, they would both have to be doing this probably.
Yeah. I would expect so. Oh, man. All right, so heading to the waterfall, hoping that that trap tile has what we're looking for. If not, then, I mean, you've got Temple of Fiends. You've got, somebody's mentioned Topher having trap tiles that hadn't been checked yet. Really? Kind of what else is there? Because did Sawney check all the trap tiles in ice? I'm trying to remember. I mean, it's almost the case that you've got to go back into all the dungeons and check all the trap tiles just to make sure that you did them all. And that looks like that is what he's going to do. Go ahead and go into Sea Shrine and check those trap tiles there. And yes, hello, Lord Fizzlebeef. Welcome to the what has turned out to be quite the sinister Winter Dab seed. It has been sinister in a couple of major ways. Well, actually 3 major ways. For one, the Earth Dive was required early on against the vampire, and the vampire, who was usually a speed bump, was speed bumping everybody else. Secondly, the progression forced its way through Sky and Mirage, and the trap tile to go from Mirage to Sky was Catman with Brack and Squint. So strike
right
2.
Right now Sawney is having Staria issues.
Yeah. And strike 3 right now has been Sawney trying to find Sorias to be able to actually finish this seed out.
Yeah, you know the problem you had when you played? Yeah, he's got it.
So yes, Soria's strike again. But fortunately, as Sunflash is pointing out, we did finally find Agamas in one of the Earth trap tiles. But now the hunt is on for Sorias, and it has been a long hunt. It was a seed and hunt that Darkmoon had to go ahead and leave after an hour because it was just intractable. And Sawneyrath has pushed further on since, and you see the time. We have gone an hour beyond. And Sawney has the levels, Sawney has the items, but can't find that last monster to try to get the end. All right, so it looks like he is going to go ahead and try the trap tile in Temple of Fiends, which is understandable. Hopefully this will be the key, we hope. Because even if you wanted chaos out of this seed, this has been more than a little chaos. This has been crazy chaos. So, it has definitely been something else, to say the least. But for those of you who have watched this whole time, who have stuck through this absolute slog, thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. It's a pirate broadcast, so it's had its occasional kinks, but it has been an adventure, and we appreciate you all sticking with us throughout. You'll have a story to tell the grandkids. All right, so Sawneyrath has gone back into Topher, and I assume is hoping to find Soria's, maybe not trying the Earth floor again, because he tried that and it just did not pan out at all. But we'll see what this ends up yielding as we are able to try to push through here.
has been a thing.
It has definitely been a thing. Also, bienvenidos. It sounds like possibly your mic issues have unissued.
I wish I knew sometimes, I swear.
Yeah, well, okay, then you said that and it unissued, but at least that first sentence was great. I was gonna say, I almost think maybe it is a little bit better. It's hard to say exactly, but
I've changed mics. I've reset things. I even closed Discord and reset that.
yeah,
My technical knowledge is gone at this point.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry you're having such issues. It's audio quality is definitely can be a real problem when it comes to something like this. So, but yeah, but appreciate you sticking with it and trying to get through and be able to do the broadcast with us. So much obliged.
Oh, anytime. It's been so fun. Looking for Sarias for an hour.
Yeah. Oh boy. So we're back at it again on the Earth floor. The hunt continues. So one thing I was going to say a little bit earlier that I mean, it's basically just me pontificating for a bit on my own experiences, but this is starting to kind of put me in mind of, I think it was during the last year's spring tournament. I was still really new to the game, and I had been playing the game for probably 2 months at that point. I had done one seed in the Duckling Derby because I couldn't go to the other 3. And so I didn't have a lot of experience in the game, but I signed up for the spring tournament anyway because I'm a dunce. And so I'm in this match, and I forget who it was. It wasn't actually my first match of spring tournament was against Sawneyrath, so ironically, but it was not my match against him. But one of the matches that I did had went for 4 hours.
Ugh.
And I don't remember exactly what it was about the seed that did that. I will say that at least part of that was the fact that I forgot that I had the floater. So, oopsie.
I think everyone's done something like that.
Yeah, so that was part of the reason why it went 4 hours. But this seed is starting to kind of put me in mind of that, because it's not any seed that is particularly epic, or I mean, because you look at the flags of this seed, it's not that bad. It's just the way things rolled in regards to abilities and skills just was brutal. Oh my goodness, Sonic is taking us to places we've never been before. Look at this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever come to these rooms at any point ever.
Well, I was gonna say, he's definitely exhausting any and every option to try to take care of this.
The fact that they forced this on each other too was just fantastic. This might be the no cabin houses tile people talk about being trolly because you have to be aware of things, and that this tile in particular has been an absolute nightmare the few races I've seen it forced in.
Yeah. It's just, oh boy. I mean, it's one of those things that you wouldn't really think about, I don't think, until you run into a seed like this where it feels like it is darn near impossible to make this work.
It's also one of those things that you have zero control over. You don't control the encounter table. You don't control the encounter rarity and such like that. So it's really frustrating when it's something there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to accept it, and that's what I think is the most frustrating part of it.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, you can't worry. You know, yeah, the checking them at RDLs and stuff is another option at this point as well. But like encounter tables are encounter tables sometimes, and it's just, what do you do?
Yeah. And it's I can't imagine what he's thinking right now, because yeah, this is, and as Darkmoon points out fairly, it is a free win if he finishes, because of course Darkmoon had to step away, but it's still just, I mean, it still has to be, yeah, there has to be at least a part of you that's going, what the bleep is going on at this point?
This is just going into the realm of just statistically beyond unlikely.
Yeah, it's, I mean, as many encounters as he's pulled on the Earth floor so far, I mean, we're probably pushing toward, I don't know how many we're pushing toward, but we've got to be getting triple digits at this point, just on this floor.
He has legitimately been searching for Sarias for about 50 minutes now.
Yeah. And it's just something of a relief that he was able to find the Agamas, because, I mean, just imagine where this is if he still hasn't found the Agamas yet.
Still looking for Sarias, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, if you only have one lizard in the kitty, not to mention trying to find the second one, it's just, how in the world? Okay, so Sawney has mentioned in chat that if he doesn't find the lizard in the next 5 minutes, he's going to go ahead and finish the seed and then forfeit. It is an unenviable situation, because you're looking at being one square away from a guaranteed win, and that square just not happening. It's one of those things. I mean, this is, I think, the first time that we've run a double anti-bingo tournament. I know it had been featured in Iron Goal matches in the past, but never on this sort of a scale. I kind of get the feeling that this is going to be one of those things that gets looked at after the tournament is over with, to see which squares were feasible, which squares weren't, where did you see the problems, and it's, oh boy, I have to imagine that there is going to be a good bit of discussion after the tournament about something like this.
Yeah, because that Fizzle got caught with the exact same thing, unfortunately. When it gets shuffled to such a rare encounter, I mean, did you chalk that up to saying that, hey, you know what, good job on my opponent forcing this on me, or is it just like, going against the spirit of what you hope it would be?
Yeah. And I mean, if you kind of think back, what if one of them gives the other a different line? Then, I mean, you're looking at a completely different seat. It just happens to be that one specific square that is causing all the issues here. So, Sorry, I'm running out of ways to say it, I guess. So forgive me if I'm just, and forgive me if I'm sitting here kind of blabbing on and on. But it really, I mean, this seed has just boiled down to some very nasty points that unfortunately both runners have had to bash their heads up against repeatedly, and it's been unfortunate is a kind way to put it. Less kind way, but more accurate one is one that we can't say on the stream. So, yeah. All right, so we got 2 more minutes. Hoping that, unless I can't read timers right, I think that's a 3. Yeah, I think, okay, that's a 3. All right, so hopefully Sawney finds that Soria in the next 2 minutes, but otherwise it's going to be, he's just going to go ahead and finish off the bosses, and we'll have, I would suspect, very little trouble in doing so at all. And then that'll be that for the seed, and we'll see, just kind of see how things fall in terms of would they have to do a rematch. I'm not exactly sure what the procedure would be, honestly. But
I would assume it would have to be a rematch. I mean, no player completed the seed.
Yeah. In 2 minutes, Math Girl, because Sawneyrath mentioned in the racetime.gg chat that we have up that if he didn't hit this at 2 hours, 15 minutes, he was going to go ahead and finish the seed. So that is Sawney's own comment on it. Yeah, if you've seen Sawney pausing, for the most part, he's pausing at the moment. He is in the process of talking with Darkmoon in the race time chat, so they're going over a few things. All right, so went ahead and pulled Lich, and Lich went down in a heap of bones really fast. So yeah, it's looking like Sawney is going to go ahead and complete the seed as intended, essentially, to beat up the rest of the Fiends and take down Chaos, and then we will presumably have a rematch at some point to try to figure out who goes on to the next round of the bracket. I believe they are, looking here now, they are in the losers bracket, and the winner of it is going to play Rohovision. So they'll have to try to figure out how that's going to go in the meantime.
Nothing here indeed.
And Phoenix mentioning in chat that, yeah, the Saurias have taken down another runner, and it looks like the Saurias have taken down an entire seed, not just a runner, but conceivably both, because it looks like the Saurias are just not there. Because Sawney has probably pulled at least 100 encounters, if not more, in the zones in which those Saurias were supposed to be present, and they have not materialized once. All right, so Sawneyrath made it through carry and is on to Kraken 2. And the fighter's hitting for 256. The black belt is hitting for about 4 times that, and Kraken goes down in a heap of bones. And, well, tentacles, I guess, in that case.
Don't worry, the fighter will cure for itself.
All right, so now here comes Tia 2, and going with the same strategy, just punch everything to death, because everything pretty much will die to a punch, for the most part. So
one Rasa will follow it up.
Oh yes, yeah. If the punch doesn't kill it, the sword will. All right, so Sawneyrath is at last onto Chaos, and is maxed out on money. I think I just saw. Holy cow!
Oh, 6 billion things.
All right, so I was going to go ahead and temper up the black belt and just punch everything out. I think this will be over in a turn or 2, depending on how much avoidance it has. It's down in a turn. And so Sawneyrath has finished the seed with a race time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, 42 seconds. The 2 of them have already agreed to rematch on Saturday, so this cursed seed is finally over. GG to both runners, to Darkmoon and Sawneyrath, for... I'm not really sure what to call this. It would not be polite.
This is the first time I've ever seen both runners physically be unable to finish a seed. This has been crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, I have seen seeds where none of the I think some of the Thursday group seeds I've seen where none of the runners have been able to complete it on stream. But holy mackerel! And not only was Sawneyrath one of the absolute stalwarts of the sea, but he has joined us in chat on stream. This disaster. Holy mackerel! How in the world, sir, do you have not only was Sawneyrath one of the absolute stalwarts of the sea, but he has joined us in chat after this disaster.
I'm actually looking at this now in Hackster to find out if there were any Saria encounters on the table, because you guys saw I checked just about every encounter zone. And Darkmoon is saying for me to mute my audio, but I can't. Sunflash, if you can switch over to music or something like that. Cool. But yeah.
I mean, because
it's tournament safe, I can't open it. That's right.
Okay. Well, we were trying to, at the very least, have some sort of an idea of how many encounters you pulled to try to find that Soria, and we were, at least triple digits.
Yeah, I lost count at 172.
God. Oh, my heavens. Oh, so, the usual post-race interview questions really don't apply here, because the question of, what did you think of the seed, is going to be probably filled with 4-letter words.
No, actually, it's not.
Okay.
Because, the biggest piece of adversity in the seed was that early skydive with I think it was the Catman that had Bracken Glance. That was
Bracken Squint, yeah.
Or Squint, yeah. I remembered it was one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the biggest piece of adversity that the seed had to offer. And that bounced both Darkmoon and myself out many a time.
Yeah.
And I know that once I had banged Tia and Darkmoon saw that light up, it was game over.
Yeah.
But, truth be told, because of the lack of the Saria, it wouldn't have been game over.
No, if I'd been lucky enough to pull one, then that would have been something. And I came in to commiserate with you because that sucked, dude. I'm sorry for you.
Dude, yeah. I'm curious as to if there was one in there, because like I told you, I checked the encounter zones many a time, even though the tip of Cardia is what extends in, or the tip of Ordeals is what extends into Cardia, but I checked everything and just couldn't find any.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean that was a win by rights for you just because of how much the Catmen did not want to let me. They pulled the Gandalf, "Thou shall not pass." I was like, okay, well, I guess.
They threw down the glance, they threw down the brack, and that was it.
God, that was wretched. Well, and I was listening to them after I finally cooled down enough to come watch the stream, just cheer you on. You took 4-man strats, I took 3. I Part of this was my own stupidity. I forgot to buy softs, and I'm like, I can power through, and that was not the pack to not have a single soft potion. Not that I think it would have mattered because they were going with glance and brack, and you had to pass through it twice if you didn't want to fight. Yeah, that was just awful.
Yeah, it was, but like I didn't have any softs either for my first 7 dives in there.
Yeah.
And 3 of them I made it through with 1 light warrior. 1 I made it through with 2, and my final one where I baned Tia and you saw that light up, I had a whole 4 up.
Yeah, the luckiest I got was I basically sat there on the Cerebuses that were the first couple of encounters there at Sky, and I ground from I think I was level 15 when I went originally. I got up to level 21, and occasionally a Brack or a Squint would roll off me and not actually hit by that point. So I got one time through where my entire party survived, and I'm sitting there going, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go to Tiamat. Let's just try and Brack. And Tia was a beast.
Tia hit hard. She really did.
Yeah, yeah,
And I got very lucky with it was my 5th Bane because I went back and recounted it in my head. I
yeah.
got very lucky on that 5th Bane to actually get her down because if I hadn't, it would have become very dicey very quickly.
Pretty sure I was double digits on my Banes.
Oh, you were
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So, and then as you said, I saw that go up, and I think I tried to bounce off twice more. And when you were already through with the Bane, and I couldn't even get through it after 2 more attempts, I'm just like, I'm even if I get through, I'm gonna be so far behind. Little did we know that the Sarias were the real champion of this seed.
Yeah, no kidding there.
Well,
So,
I salute you both. That I mean, I was sitting there talking. Well, Darkmoon, you probably heard me saying it,
uh
but I was sitting there comparing this, kind of yarning off about that 4-hour seed that I did last year, um, which was partially due to me being an idiot, but that it just felt that way in terms of you go in and you're just sitting there gritting your teeth,
yeah,
determined that you're going to get through it no matter what, and
yeah,
you know, only to eventually, you run up against that wall, and both of y'all ran up against walls. Sometimes the
yeah,
same wall, sometimes different walls, but walls
yeah,
nonetheless.
No, we definitely hit the same wall there early on since going through Mirage into Sky was the only way to progress because it had the canoe.
Yeah.
And then fortunately, Darkmoon, you didn't have to deal with this second wall.
So out of curiosity, I saw I lit the Sarda furniture before you did. Um, did you do how much grinding did you do over an Earth area or wherever, or was that just I was for once
So
just faster?
so it wasn't that I did grinding. I
Okay.
wiped to I wiped to shadows.
Oh wow.
They have ice too.
Oh, I didn't see that. I was
Mhm.
lucky enough not to see that. I bounced off the vampire a few times, and then I went and just did an effort grind on Karibs a few times, walking back and forth to Melman. Because I was still not wanting to use cabins or houses that I had in my inventory at that point. Sky broke me of
Understandable.
that.
Yeah, Sky was definitely nasty this seed. But
But yeah,
no, the Earth Elemental tile were red ankylos.
yeah, that was gross.
I actually killed them with ice
Nice,
threes and BB punches. And
nice.
then
Yeah, I just
you saw that my BB was like 47 at the end of this seed.
Yeah, I did Karibs to level 15, and that was enough health to get through the vampire. And then went to Sky as my next step because I mean that was the only place a key item was going to be if it wasn't
Hmm.
as you deduced potentially at Onrack, which it wasn't. Um,
Yep.
and then yeah, and then I knew no matter what I had to get through that tower, and you just managed to get through it, and I just couldn't. So
Well, there also was a bit of deviation in
mm,
that because I also went to go kill Kraken because I was
yeah,
like, no, I need more levels, and there's
yeah.
there's no way I'm making it through without levels. at this
no,
point.
and I agreed.
Our
That was
ribbons
why I
were
ground.
negative. Like, all of our good equipment were in the negative.
Yeah, that was bad all around for both of us. So, do you want to rematch? Was it late Friday night or late Saturday night around midnight?
We can do either because of how my work schedule is.
Uh,
Either one works for me.
let's just try and bang this out again tomorrow night, dude.
That sounds good to
Cool.
me.
Awesome.
I guess technically tonight, since
Yeah, like
we did pass midnight.
22 hours from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I will go ahead and wish you both the best of luck on that. Much as I am tempted to say I would like to rejoin you all, I will be in the middle of my work job at that point. So sadly, I can't. But so I will go ahead and give my wishes to both of you. I hope to every freaking deity that exists in the known universe that y'all get a much kinder seat tomorrow night.
God, I hope so.
I mean, if
Roll
we
this.
don't, and we're just as nasty to each other with picking our rows, we're gonna be
Oh
in
my God.
for a treat.
Oh my God, so good. So good.
So if this comes up on the board tomorrow, the 3 different lizards, is that just the automatic give?
I mean, honestly, if neither of us can finish again tomorrow, I'm just gonna be like, what do we do? I'm not doing a third
There's
race for this one. I'm sorry.
like if this comes up on if that specific tile comes up on one of ours again tomorrow, there's a part of me that wants to just be like gentleman's agreement. Let's not let like use that tile. Like
No,
if we
I agree with you on gentleman's agreement right here, right now.
yeah, I mean if you get it just because you get it, that's one thing, but don't force it on the other player because that's just awful.
Yeah, because like in the case of the dragons, like if that
Mhm.
tile were forced upon, there's a lot more opportunity
Plenty.
for those to spawn
Yeah.
and show up in encounters. But in this case, this was very, very, very strange that none of them ever
Mhm.
showed up.
Yeah, because it's like the giant encounters. I mean, they show up in different packs together, so there's a good chance of the giants showing up. The dragons I think you only have to kill 3, and there's like 5 or 6 in the game or something.
Yeah,
Um,
because you've got your frost dragon, you've got your zombie dragon, gas dragon, blue dragon, red
red,
dragon.
yeah. There's enough of those to fill in the 3 that you need. Even like the ogres are so common, and like they'll show up in multiple packs with each other if you have to. So those aren't so bad. This lizard one is just twice now has proven to be the deal breaker. So yeah, I think the comms had it right when we look at the tiles again for next year. We're gonna wipe this one.
Yeah, I agree with wiping this tile going into next year.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's avoid the lizards tomorrow, and the rest of it I enjoyed, even though it made our board a little more difficult in some ways. I liked our party draft. I liked the lines we picked for each other. Barring this, it was a fun time up to Catman.
Yeah, Catman, the final boss of the early game of the seed.
And half an hour on Catman. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. No.
The true final boss of this seed, though, were the Sarias.
I think we need to petition the devs to put in a 9 Catman pack as one of the alt final bosses.
Actually, I'm
You
not gonna lie.
monster.
I'm not gonna lie. We said alt final boss
Yep.
at some point in this comms.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
GG's, man. We'll do this again tomorrow then.
Absolutely. Clever team name's gonna butt heads again.
Just make sure y'all don't butt heads so hard that your heads explode and you have nothing left, please.
Oh my god!
I already
feel it.
did that on this seed.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. No,
Don't
we
do it
both had our
again.
we both had our moments.
All right. Well, y'all both have a good night. We're not going to task you with any more questions. Just thank you guys for running this, for putting up with this. Have a good night and get some sleep, please.
Oh,
Thanks.
absolutely. GG's. Thank you all for watching.
Good night, everybody.